shall we wait till more people come in?
Sure, we can wait till the designated time. Or if you're just giving a kind of introduction, yeah, you can, I guess, start.
Good afternoon, everybody. Can you hear me? Shanti, yep. Good afternoon, everybody. It's lunchtime in India. In Europe, we're just getting up. In Hawaii, it's evening time. So the day before, confusing enough. So we're so happy to welcome you all back to the, now I have to look as well, to the 7th day of the Days of Miracles. We are so happy to see you all again. And we're continuing today the Golden Light Sutra reading with Venerable Namjong. And we decided yesterday, Venerable Namjong very kindly offered that we can continue the Golden Light Sutra reading until Venerable Namjong will travel. That will be next. We will see next Monday or something. So if you wanted to continue to read with us, please be very welcome. Same channel, same time, until next Sunday at least. Let's say like that. Yeah, and I will make the announcement after this session again, and we will send you an email about it so that you have it also written down. Is that correct, Venerable Namjong?
Well, if we are able to naturally finish before next Sunday, then, you know, that's also good. So let's see. We'll see how much we can do in the next few days, but I will go at a little bit slower pace so that our, you know, our people who are not native English speakers can hopefully, you know, follow a little bit more easily. And me too. I was like a little bit, you know, a little bit frantic. So
okay,
yeah,
great.
it'll be more relaxed for all of us.
Thank you so much. And I give the microphone to you. Thank you, Venerable Namjong, for joining again.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Venerable Kunpen, Pema, and the rest of the folks at Tushita. Thank you for organizing this amazing event and series of events over the Days of Miracles. And again, thank you to all of you who are tuning in from various parts of the world. It's really, really touching, really inspiring for me. So thank you to all of you. So now let's just jump in right away. So yesterday we gave a more extensive sort of introduction about the benefits of the sutra, the motivation for reciting the sutra, and some of the benefits that accrue from reciting the sutra. So let's just jump in and readjust our motivation. We'll do this every time we come together and recite the sutra. So please think on this occasion that the very purpose of our life is to benefit all sentient beings. And in particular, in order that we may be of utmost benefit to all sentient beings, we must first achieve the state of highest and complete enlightenment. Then and only then will we have the skills, the qualities, the skillful means to guide sentient beings in the most effective manner to free themselves from the ocean of samsaric suffering to the state of liberation and enlightenment. And therefore, in order to do this, we must first traverse the entire path, purify our minds of all the obscurations, as well as accumulate the vast collections of merit and transcendental wisdom. And therefore, we're going to do this practice of the recitation on the profound Golden Light Sutra so that we can quickly achieve the state of enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. And although that is the sort of overarching goal, then we can also think that the various benefits that are going to accrue from the sutra, some of which are mentioned, the benefits of bringing peace to the world, the benefits of, you know, the environment being able to be sustainable and livable, and the crops not failing, and people will be sustained and nourished. So all of these various benefits, even before sentient beings are, totally liberated and enlightened, may these benefits also, manifest themselves even as we are in this session. So, even before we're finished with the 21 chapters, then these things manifest in this session. And if that's the case, then we can decide again whether we're going to continue until Sunday. I'm joking. Okay. So with that, let us just jump in to the, okay, here we were, but we'll do the preliminaries to the Sutra reading as we did yesterday. So are you all able to see this? Yes, okay. So again, right, we don't just mindlessly recite these words, but try to have some recognition and understanding of the meaning. So here now, with taking refuge in generating bodhicitta, then the common practice is to visualize the field of merit in the space in front of us. So now we can think that our guru is manifesting in the form of Shakyamuni Buddha and is now in the space in front of us to help guide us and lead us to the state of enlightenment. And then remember, to cement the fact that we're doing this for all sentient beings, we can visualize all sentient beings in the space around us. And then remember later when we recite the sutra, we can think that we ourselves are giving this Dharma teaching to the sentient beings, all sentient beings that we're visualizing in the space around us. And so now, why do we go for refuge? Well, we should remember the good qualities of the Buddha, Dharma, and the Sangha. And if we want to aspire to attain those qualities within ourselves, then there's no choice but to go for refuge. It means to dedicate ourselves, commit ourselves to training along the path of Dharma that the Buddha has taught and that the Sangha, can support us in achieving. So with that, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, Dharma, and Supreme Assembly. By my practice of giving and other perfections, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By my practice of giving and the other perfections, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By my practice of giving and the other perfections, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. And now we'll continue with the seven-limb prayer. So reverently I prostrate with my body, speech, and mind. So imagine that you're doing this. And then now with the limb of prostration, you'll notice, I think we're going to get to this part in the sutra today, where it talks about the extensive benefits of offering incense to the Sutra of Golden Light. So here I have 2 sticks of incense. And this is a practice that Lama Zopa Rinpoche, when we do the taking of the Mahayana precepts, which, by the way, I hope all of you are doing during these days of miracles, then to offer 2 sticks of incense that represent, respectively, the Rupakaya, the form body of the Buddha, and the Dharmakaya, or the wisdom body of the Buddha. So now, on behalf of all sentient beings, if you have incense in your place, you can light some now. If not, I'll light some on behalf of all the sentient beings in the world, in the universe. Om Ahom, Om Ahom, Om Ahom. Om Ahom, Om Ahom, Om Ahom. Okay. Okay. So presenting clouds of every type of offering, both actual, so not just the incense here, but all the other offerings that we've arranged. I'm sure there's many at Tushita, and then all the other Dharma centers in the world, all of Rinpoche's houses, all of your own individual places. So all those actually, performed offerings, and then all those that we can imagine. We now present on behalf of all sentient beings to all the Buddha Dharma Sangha statues to the scriptures in the 10 directions. I declare all my negative actions accumulated since beginningless time. So here again, we apply the 4 opponent powers to our negative actions. We'll do the recitation of the Sutra as the remedy. But just taking a moment, and whether we remember them or not, but to think of all the negative actions we've done since beginningless time, particularly the 3 types of vows that we've broken, and particularly the negative actions in relation to our gurus and the 3 jewels. And rejoice in the merit of all holy and ordinary beings. So rejoicing in the merits of ourselves and then others, all the ordinary beings, those without realization of emptiness, direct realization of emptiness. But even without it, still so much can be done to benefit others. And then rejoicing in the merits, the good activities of the Arya beings, particularly the Bodhisattvas and the Buddhas. Please remain until the end of psychic existence and turn the wheel of Dharma for living beings. I dedicate my own merits and those of all others to the great enlightenment. Short mandala offering. This ground anointed with perfume, strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, 4 continents, the sun and the moon. I imagine this is a Buddha field and offer it. May all living beings enjoy this pure land. So here again, not just visualizing one, but the entire universe filled on every atom with a mandala, which is a representation in turn of the entire universe. Visualized as a pure land. Then we'll do the special request for the 3 great purposes. We'll just do once. I prostrate and go for refuge to the Guru and the 3 precious gems. Please bless my mind. I'm requesting you to immediately pacify all the wrong conceptions, from incorrect devotion to the Guru up to the subtle dual view of the white, red, and dark visions that exist in my mind and in the minds of all Mother Sentient beings. I'm requesting you to immediately generate all the right realizations from Guru devotion up to enlightenment in my mind and in the minds of all Mother Sentient beings. I'm requesting you to pacify all outer and inner obstacles to actualizing the entire graduated path to enlightenment in my mind and in the minds of all Mother Sentient beings. Idam Guru Rana Mandala Kam Niratayami. So then the merit multiplying mantra. Tayata Om Dari Dari Bindare Soha. 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 And then let's just keep in mind these 2 visualizations, either that the Buddha is giving you the teaching directly while we read the sutra, and that we actualize all the realizations in our hearts while we recite. And then also to think that we are giving the teachings to the sentient beings that we visualize in the space around. And then all the beings, that we visualize, of course, all the ones that can actually hear, then they receive these teachings and all of their delusions, defilements, karma, and suffering are completely purified. Okay. Chapter 5, the sources of lotuses. Then the Tathagata said this to the noble goddess Bodhisattva Samuchaya. O noble goddess, at that time, at that moment, a king called Suvarna Bhujendra, with his eulogy of all the Tathagatas called sources of lotuses, praised past, future, and present Buddhas, conquerors that appeared in the past, those who dwell now in the 10 directions world. To those conquerors I prostrate, of these conquerors I sing praise. The vanquishing sages are calm, utterly calm and pristine. Their bodies shine with the color gold. Their voices, oops, are the sweetest of all melodies. I'm trying to, yeah, okay. Sorry. For they roar with the melody of Brahma. Their hair is bee, peacock, and lotus blue, curly and jet blue as the blue jay. Like snow and conch, their teeth are ever beautiful, intensely white, gleaming like gold. Their eyes, long and flawless blue, resemble lotuses in full bloom. Their tongues, fine and broad, lotus-colored and shining, resemble a lotus thread. Their treasure hair, like the lotus and conch, of lapis color, swirls to the right. The eyes of the Buddhas are slender as the waning moon. The navel of their bodies shine like a bead. Their noses, high on their lofty faces, are soft and fine, their color akin to divine gold. Always and incessantly, the taste of senses of conquerors are smooth, sublime, and outstandingly supreme. A single hair emerges from their every pore and curls to the right. Their plaited hair, deep blue, lustrous and glistening, is blue as the peacock's beautiful neck. As soon as they are born, their bodies illuminate the triple realms in all 10 directions of the world. Limitless suffering is dispelled by this light, and sentient beings are sustained with all happiness. In the realm of hell beings, animals, hungry ghosts, humans, and gods, all beings are endowed with peace and happiness. Migrating beings of the lower realms are calmed. Of fine complexion, their bodies glow with light the color of refined gold, like a pure, spotless moon. The face of Sugatas smiling are most beautiful and pristine. Their bodies and limbs are tender as a newborn child. Their excellent heroic gait is that of a lion. Their long hands and very long arms are as branches of a solid tree swung by the wind. Their full arms span blazing with light issues raised like 1,000 suns, intensely bright. Flawless are the supreme forms of vanquished sages who brightly illuminate limitless worlds. The brilliance of Buddhas pales and eclipses the light of numerous suns and full moons in limitless hundreds of thousands of worlds. The sign of the Buddha is like the light of the world. Hundreds of thousands of Buddha suns, the light of Tathagatas, are being held by beings in countless hundreds of thousands of worlds. Their forms possess of 100,000 merits, fully adorned with every virtue. The arms of conqueror resemble the real elephant's trunk. The light of their hands and feet is striking and bright, equaling the dust particles on the surface of the earth. Are past Buddhas numerous as grains of fine sand. Buddhas to come are just equal to that in number. Equal to are those abiding now, with speech, mind, and body pure, are for flowers, incense, and abundant praise. My mind overflowing with virtue, I prostrate to these conquerors. The qualities of conquerors are only virtue, of highest essence and ranging wide. Had I 100 tongues and thousands of eons, I could not express the qualities of Buddhas, since even with 1,000 tongues, conquerors' virtues are beyond all words. How, with merely 100 tongues, could all the qualities of conquerors be told? Should all the worlds, including the realm of gods, become an ocean of water, approaching samsara's peak, these waters may be gauged in hair tip drops, yet not one virtue of Sakatas can be so measured. Through body, speech, and lucid mind, I have sung this eulogy to all conquerors. Through the finest fruit of merit I have gathered, thus may sentient beings touch supreme enlightenment. Having praised the Buddhas in this way, the king made the following wish: in limitless eons in the future, through where I am reborn, may I see such a drum as in a dream, and from it hear such confession. In every birth may I find a eulogy to conquerors equal to the source of lotuses. Buddha qualities, limitless and peerless, hard to find in thousands of eons. I'll hear these virtues in the dream. Upon waking, I shall expound them. I shall liberate all beings from the ocean of suffering. I shall complete the 6 perfections. When, in this way, I achieve peerless enlightenment, may my Buddha field not be loose and infirm. As an effect of the fruition of offering the drum and singing the praise to all Buddhas, I shall directly behold the Lord Shakyamuni. Then with my sons, Kanaka Buddharendra and Kanaka Prabha, may I receive the supreme prophecy along with my 2 children. May the prediction of enlightenment be attained. For beings who lack abode or support and are wretched and bereft of refuge, may I in future times become their refuge, protector, and guardian, so that I may end their suffering at its source and become a wellspring of all virtue. In the future, I shall accomplish enlightening deeds for eons, as many as those gone past. Through this confession of sublime golden light, may the ocean of my misdeeds dry up. May the ocean of my karma be depleted. May the ocean of my delusion be exhausted. May the ocean of my merit be complete. May the ocean of my wisdom be perfectly pure and become an ocean of every virtue. May enlightenment's precious qualities be complete through the power of confession of sublime golden light. May the force of my merit brightly shine. May the light of my enlightenment be pristine. Through sublime light of stainless wisdom, may light of my form glisten, and cause the light of merit to gleam. Always endowed with virtue's power, may I be renowned in all three realms, so I may free beings from an ocean of suffering and offer peace and happiness vast as the sea. For eons and future times, I shall always engage in enlightening deeds. However many Buddhas exist in the three realms, just as the worlds are impeccably distinguished through virtue of conquerors and limitless merit, may my Buddha field be likewise so. This ends the chapter called Source of Lotuses, praising all the past, present, and future Tathagatas from the King of Glory, Sutra's Divine Golden Light. I'm going to try read mode. Okay, yeah, that's even better. Chapter 6, chapter on emptiness. Then at that time, the Tathagata spoke these verses. In numerous other inconceivable sutras, I've expounded empty phenomena in detail. Hence, here in the Supreme Sutra, empty phenomena, I will explain. I will just briefly explain. As beings of slight intelligence, ignorant, are incapable of knowing all things. Hence, here in the Supreme Sublime Sutra, empty phenomena are explained only in brief, so that all beings may certainly know, so they may be delivered from cyclic existence. Through compassionate ways, methods, and other means, I've expounded this Supreme Sublime Sutra. The body is like an empty village or house. Senses are like soldiers and thieves. Although they live in the same village, they are unaware of each other. The eye sense runs after forms. The ear sense indulges in sounds. The nose sense captures numerous smells. The tongue sense always hunts taste. The body sense pursues tactile sensation, and the mental sense grasps at phenomena. These 6 individual senses are each absorbed in their objects. The mind is capricious as an illusion, its 6 senses thoroughly engrossed, like a man who runs to an empty village and resides there among soldiers and thieves. The mind dwells in the 6 objects and fully knows the objects of the 6 senses. Therefore, the mind resides in 6 objects and fully knows the objects of sense engagement, forms, sounds, likewise smells, tastes, tactiles, and phenomena. The mind in motion, like a bird in flight, in all 6 enters the sense faculties. In whatever sense it abides, it lends that sense its knowing nature. The body, like a machine in an empty village, is without motion and completely without action. Lacking core essence, it arises from conditions. Arising from concepts, it lacks inherent nature. Earth, fire, water, fire, and wind, abiding separately in different parts, like deadly snakes in the same den, are ever in conflict with each other. Of these 4 snakes of the elements, 2 move up and 2 move down, moving by twos in directions and subdirections. These snakes of the elements will surely perish. The earth snake and the water snake perish down below. The fire snake and the wind snake ascend to the space above. Due to actions done in the past, the mind and consciousness depart from their abodes. Gods, humans, and 3 lower migrations are born in existence according to deeds done. At death, when phlegm, bile, wind, and bile have been exhausted, the body is filled with urine and foul matter. Not pleasant, it becomes a heap of worms, discarded like wood at the charnel ground. Behold these things, O goddess. Here, beings, persons, and likewise phenomena are empty. Due to ignorance they arise. These great elements have no great origination. Originating from the unoriginated, they lack origination. Since that which originates does not originate, I have called them the great elements. They do not exist and do not ever exist. Due to ignorance, they come into being. Ignorance itself does not exist. Thus, I have called the ignorance, action, consciousness, name and form, the 6 sources, contact, feeling, craving, grasping, and existent 2, birth, aging, and death, sorrows, and afflictions. These comprise the 12 links of dependent origination. The inconceivable sufferings of psychic existence as they operate in the wheel of life have originated from the unoriginated. Thus, they are without origination, free from discursive conceptual thought. Cut the view of self-existence, sever the net of the afflictions, brandish the sword of knowledge. Behold, the abode of aggregates is empty. In this way, enlightenment shall be reached. I've opened the door to the city of nectar and thoroughly enter into its abode. I've utterly revealed the vessel of nectar. With its juice I have been filled. I have beaten the sublime drum of Dharma. I have blown Dharma's supreme conch. I have rained a sublime shower of Dharma. I have ignited Dharma's supreme torch. I conquered the potent enemy, the afflictions, and hoisted Dharma's victory banner high. I rescued beings from the ocean of existence and sealed the path of the 3 lower realms. For beings scorched by the fire of affliction, without support or cooperative forces, I soothe those burned by the illusion flame and with nectar juice satisfied such beings. For inconceivable many eons, I venerate inconceivable many Buddhas. Fervently seeking Dharmakaya, resolute in my vows, I engage in Bodhisattva's deeds. I give my hands, eyes, and legs, the supreme part, the head, beloved daughters and sons, crystals, gems, pearls, ornaments in gold, lapis and various jewels. A person might cut and chop all that grows on this earth, bushes and trees, grasses and forests, and all triple thousand worlds. If he ground them to powder and reduced them to dust, a mound reaching the end of space could be built and split into 3 parts. If knowledge of all dust on earth, infinite units of triple thousand world spheres, was bestowed upon just one being, that being would be extremely superior. Possessed of exalted wisdom, he might count all those particles in that mound of dust. But the extent of conqueror's knowledge cannot be known. Even in countless tens of millions of eons, the vitality of just a single moment of the conqueror's omniscient wisdom cannot be measured or gauged. This ends the 6th chapter on emptiness, from King Glory's Sutras, the Sublime Golden Light. Chapter 7, chapter on the 4 great kings. Then the great king Vairashvana, the great king Dhritarashtra, the great king Virudaka, and the great king Virupaksha rose from their seats, put their upper robes over one shoulder, and knelt on their right knees. Bowing in reverence in the direction of the Tathagata, they spoke thus: Venerable Transcendent Victor, this King Glory's Sutras, the Divine Golden Light, is proclaimed by all Tathagatas, discerned by all Tathagatas, considered by all Tathagatas, upheld by the entire assembly of Bodhisattvas, honored by the entire community of gods, worshipped by the entire community of gods, praised by all the king of gods, and is venerated, praised, and revered by the world protectors. It illuminates the dwellings of the gods, magnanimously bestows supreme bliss upon all sinning beings, dries up the suffering of beings in the hell, the animal realms, and the world of Yama, severs the continuity of fear, repels all opponent armies, utterly ends all desolate famine, thoroughly pacifies all hopeless illness, and overthrows all unfriendly planets. The Sutra makes being supremely serene, utterly alleviates sorrow and afflictive emotions, utterly removes all form of harm, and utterly overcomes hundreds of thousands of afflictions. If Venerable Transcendent Victor, this King of Glory, Sutra, the Sublime Golden Light, is expounded perfectly and extensively among the assembly, then by hearing the Dharma and by the nectar of the Dharma, the divine bodies of us 4 great kings, along with our armies and retinues, will wax immensely, having great, awe-inspiring glory. In our bodies, stamina, might, and prowess will be generated. Into our bodies, charisma, excellent, and consummate good fortune will flow. Venerable Transcendent Victor, we the 4 great kings abide by the Dharma, profess the Dharma, and are Dharma kings. Venerable Transcendent Victor, through the power of the Dharma, we will be kings of gods, nagas, yakshas, gandharvas, asuras, garudas, kinnaras, and mahoragas. We will rout the terrible hordes of bhutas who are without compassion and steal their glory from others. Venerable Transcendent Victor, we, along with the 28 great generals of the yakshas, and with numerous hundreds of thousands of yakshas too, will always watch over, guard, and protect the hold of Jambudvipa with our divine eye, which is pure and surpasses the eyes of humans. Venerable Transcendent Victor, for this reason, we the 4 great kings are known by the name world protectors. Venerable Transcendent Victor, whatever region of this Jambudvipa is overrun by foreign armies, afflicted with famine and disease, and acutely oppressed by hundreds of different harms, thousands of harms, and hundreds of thousands of harms, Venerable Transcendent Victor, we the 4 great kings will give support to the devout monks who keep the King of Glory, Divine Golden Light. Venerable Transcendent Victor, when devout monks, upon receiving encouragement from us, the 4 great kings, through magic, power, and blessing, travel to those regions and proclaim perfectly the King of Glory, Divine Golden Light, the hundreds of harms and thousands of harms occurring in those regions will cease. Venerable Transcendent Victor, whatever regions of a king of humans, the devout monks who hold the King of Glory, Divine Golden Light visit, those very regions will be visited by the King of Glory, Divine Golden Light. Venerable Transcendent Victor, should a king of humans listen to the King of Glory, Divine Golden Light, and having listened, should he then give protection, give refuge, care for, and save those monks from all their enemies, then Venerable Transcendent Victor, we the 4 great kings will protect, give refuge, care for, save, and give peace and well-being to the beings living in the entire country of that King of humans. Venerable Transcendent Victor, should a king of humans help bhikshus, bhikshunis, upasakas, and upasikas to hold this King of Glory Sutra, providing them with all conducive resources, then we the 4 great kings will ensure that all beings in the entire country of that King of humans possess excellent well-being and resources. Venerable Transcendent Victor, when a king of humans respects, honors, and offers service to the bhikshus, bhikshunis, upasakas, or upasikas who hold this king of sutras, the king of sutras, then Venerable Transcendent Victor, we the four great kings will greatly respect, greatly honor, greatly offer service, and greatly worship that king of humans. We will praise him in all regions. Then the Tathagata congratulate the four great kings. Excellent, excellent, O great kings, excellent, excellent. You four great kings, it is like this. You have offered astonishing service to previous Buddhas, produced roots of virtue, honored hundreds of thousands of millions of Buddhas, abided by Dharma, and professed the Dharma, and through the Dharma you have become kings of gods and humans. It is like this. For a long time you have held a caring mind for all beings, a loving and giving mind, resolutely set in the special resolve to bring benefit and happiness to all sentient beings. You have averted the unhelpful. You have persevered to achieve complete happiness for all beings. O you four great kings, do guard, give refuge, guide, care for, avert retribution, and ensure the peace and happiness of the King of humans who venerate and honor this King of Glory Sutras, the Sublime Golden Light. In this way, you four great kings with your armies, retinues, and numerous hundreds of thousands of yakshas will thoroughly safeguard the Dharma system of past, present, and future Buddhas. You will also preserve and retain it. Then, you four great kings, along with your armies, retinues, and numerous hundreds of thousands of yakshas will be victorious in the battle of gods and demigods. The demigods will be routed in this way, as the King of Glory Sutras, the Lamb Golden Light, subjugates the armies of adversaries. O four great kings, therefore, do guard, give refuge, guide, care for, and ensure peace and happiness of the bhikshus, bhikshunis, upasakas, and upasikas who uphold the King of Glory Sutras, the Sublime Golden Light. Then the great king, Vaishvana, the great king, Dhritarashtra, the great king, Virudaka, and the great king, Virupaksha, rose from their seats, put their upper robes over one shoulder, and knelt on their right knees. Bowing in reverence in the direction of the Tathagata, they spoke thus: Venerable Transcendent Victor, wherever in future, in villages, cities, town, country vales, and the whole country, at royal courts, and whichever regions of a king of humans it may reach, if the King of Glory Sutras Sublime Golden Light is utilized by a certain king of humans to wield sovereign authority according to the treatise on kingship called The Inviolable Commitments of Divine Kings, and if he continually listens to, venerates, and worships this King of Glory Sutras Sublime Golden Light, or reveres, venerates, worships, and honors bhikshus, bhikshunis, upasakas, or upasikas who uphold this King of Glory Sutras and listen to the King of Glory Sutras, the Sublime Golden Light, then through the water of listening to the Dharma and the nectar of the Dharma, the divine bodies of us four great kings, our retinues, and numerous hundreds of thousands of yakshas will increase immensely in majesty. We will receive perseverance, energy, and power. Our majesty, glory, and general excellence will be increased. Venerable Transcendent Victor, we, the four great kings, along with our armies, retinues, and numerous hundreds of thousands of yakshas, will make our bodies invisible. Now and in the future, we will visit any place, cities, villages, cities, towns, and country vales, royal courts, or the entire nation where this King of Glory Sutras Divine Golden Light is utilized. We will perpetually protect, give refuge, guide, look after, avert retribution, and ensure peace and happiness of the King of humans who listens to, venerates, and worships the King of Glory Sutras Divine Golden Light. We will perpetually protect, give refuge, guide, look after, avert retribution, and ensure peace and happiness of the royal courts, their lands and regions. We will free these lands from all fear, harm, and conflicts. Invading armies will be turned away. Should a hostile king encroach upon a king of humans who listens to, venerates, and worships this King of Glory Sutras, Sublime Golden Light, and Venerable Transcendent Victor, should this hostile encroaching king think to himself, with the four divisions of my army, I will march to that region and destroy it. Then Venerable Transcendent Victor, at that time, at that moment, by the power of the majesty of the King of Glory Sutras, Sublime Golden Light, a battle will take place between the hostile king and the other king. Even if the other king retreats to his own kingdom, there will be conflicts between the regions. There will be fierce troubles for the other king. There will be planetary afflictions and sicknesses in his territory. Hundreds of different disturbances will break out in the land. Venerable Transcendent Victor, should the invading king go back to his land, there will be hundreds of different disturbances and hundreds of different urgent problems. Venerable Transcendent Victor, if that hostile king builds up the four divisions of his army and advances to meet a foreign power, leaving his land behind and pressing ahead with the four divisions of his army to that foreign land, and if that land he seeks to overrun is a land where the king of glory, Sutra, divine golden light exists. Then, Venerable Transcendent Victor, we the four great kings, along with our armies, retinue, numerous hundreds of thousands of yakshas, will make our bodies invisible and go there. Even before it enters that land, we will turn back this foreign army on that very spot. We will create hundreds of difficult situations for him and cause obstacles. Thus, that foreign army of a hostile king will never be able to enter this land, much less cause destruction to it. Then the Tathagata congratulated the four great kings and said, "Excellent, excellent, O great kings. O you four great kings, again, excellent. You have performed perfectly for hundreds of thousands of millions of eons. For the sake of this peerless, perfect enlightenment, do protect, save, guide, look after, avert retribution, and ensure peace and happiness of a king of humans who listens to, venerates, and worships the King of Glory, Sutras, the Lamb, golden light. Likewise, do protect, save, guide, look after, avert retribution, and ensure peace and happiness of those royal courts, cities, lands, and regions. Do set free those lands from all fear, harm, and strife. Do turn back foreign armies. Do take delight in ensuring that the kings in Jambudvipa do not fight, do not allege, do not dispute or wage war. If in 84,000 cities of this in this Jambudvipa, 84,000 kings remain immensely happy and contented in their own lands, remain immensely happy with power over their kingdoms, do not intimidate each other with stockpiles of wealth, do not generate violence against each other, are contented with the lordship of a king over their kingdoms achieved according to the karma they have gathered, and do not threaten one another, and do not advance to destroy land, but instead, if the 84,000 kings in the 84,000 cities in this Jambudvipa have loving thoughts for each other, mutual loving and caring thoughts, and do not fight, allege, dispute, or wage war, and remain very happy in their own lands, then as a result of this, you four great kings with the armies and retinues will flourish. That region will have years of good harvest, will be relaxed and happy, and the land will be full of people and men. The land will become lush. Seasons, months, fortnights, and entire years will be marked by abundance and plenty. The planets, stars, moon, sun, day and night will move smoothly. Rain will continually fall at the right time. All beings in the whole Jambudvipa will be rich with wealth and grain. They will be wealthy. They will not be miserly. Instead, they will be generous. They will follow the path of 10 virtuous deeds. Most of them will be born into worlds of higher states of existence. The divine lands of gods will be full of gods and their divine children. O great king, suppose a certain being becomes the king of humans. If he then listens to, venerates, and worships his king, Lord, Sutra, Lama, golden light, and also if he respects, reveres, venerates, and worships bhikshus, bhikshunis, upasakas, and upasikas who uphold his king, Lord, Sutra, Lama, golden light, and if out of sympathy for you, four great kings, along with your armies, retinues, and many thousands of yakshas, he continually listens to this king, Lord, Sutra, Lama, golden light, then with the nectar of the waterfall of Dharma teachings, he will satisfy your bodies. The great majesty of your divine bodies will increase. He will induce perseverance, energy, and power. And this will increase your majesty, glory, and excellence. This king of humans will make inconceivable, great, vast offerings to me, the Tathagata, the Arhat, the perfectly enlightened Buddha Shakyamuni. With all his inconceivably great and vast material resources, this king of humans will make offerings to hundreds of thousands of millions of past, future, and present Tathagatas too. Therefore, great protection will be accorded to that king of humans. Therefore, that king of humans will be fully protected, saved, looked after, and guided. His retribution will be averted, and his peace and happiness ensured. His sublime queen, royal children, retinues of the queen, and all retinues of the royal court will be fully protected, saved, looked after, and guided. Their retribution will be averted, and their peace and happiness ensured. Likewise, all the deities divine dwelling in the palace will be endowed with heightened majesty, power, inconceivable peace, and bliss. They will experience manifold joys. The cities and lands too will be fully protected and looked after, will be without harm and without enemies. They will not be trodden over, harmed, or attacked by a rival army. When he had spoken thus, the great king of Varashvana, the great king Dhritarashtra, the great king Viruddhaka, and the great king Virupaksha addressed the Tathagata in this way: Venerable Transcendent Victor, should a certain king of humans seek to listen to this king of glory, Sutras, Sublime, golden light, seek protection for himself and for his sublime queen, as well as the princes, princesses, and retinues of the queen, should he seek the great inconceivable, supremely superior, peerless peace and well-being for the retinues in the palace, should he seek to increase in that life the great inconceivable power of his sovereign kingship, to be endowed with inconceivable greatness, to hold an incalculable stock of merit, to protect his entire land, guard it, ensure it is without harm, without enemy, and not overrun by the rival army, without the infectious disease, and without trouble, then, Venerable Transcendent Victor, that King of humans with an undistracted mind filled with respect and veneration, should honor and listen to this King of Glory Sutures of I'm Golden Light. In order to listen to this King of Glory Sutures of I'm Golden Light, that King of humans will go to the exalted palace. Having arrived there, he will sprinkle the palace with water of various perfume and strew it with various flowers. When that palace has been sprinkled with water and various perfumes and strewn with various flowers, he will set up a high Dharma throne, well adorned with various ornaments. That place will be well embellished with various umbrellas, victory banners, and flags. This king of human will wash his body, put on well-perfumed clothes, wear new attire, and adorn himself with various ornaments. He will lay a much lower seat for himself. Once seated on that seat, he will cease to be haughty with the pride of a king. In that place, he will not experience craving for the domain of his kingdom. With a mind that is free from pride, arrogance, and haughtiness, he will listen to the King of Glory Sutures of I'm Golden Light. He will generate the awareness that sees the monk who expounds it, the Dharma as a teacher. At that time and at that moment, that King of humans will look with affection and kindness upon his sublime queen, princes, princesses, and retinues of the queen. He will speak kind words to his sublime queen, princesses, and queen. He will also speak kind words to the retinues of the queen. To celebrate hearing the Dharma, a myriad of offerings will be assembled. He will satiate himself with previously unfelt, inconceivable joy. He will be blissful through inconceivable joy and peace. His senses will be blissful. He will resolve to achieve the higher purpose. With his great joy, he will gladden himself. Feeling very joyous, he will receive the expounder of the Dharma. When they said this to him, the Tathagata said this to the four great kings. O great kings, at that time and at that moment, the King of humans will clothe himself wholly in white, light-colored, new, beautiful clothing. He will adorn himself exquisitely with various ornaments. He will hold white umbrellas as well. With great royal might and pageantry, taking various auspicious items, he will leave the palace in order to receive the expounder of the Dharma. Why? Because for as many hundreds of thousands of millions of eons as the numbers of steps he takes there, he will shun cyclic existence. For as many hundreds of thousands of millions of eons as the number of steps he takes, he will obtain Chakravartin kingship. In that life, his domain will increase inconceivably by the number of steps he takes. He will obtain expansive dwellings of divine palaces made of the 7 jewels for many hundreds of thousands of millions of eons. A king of the human race, he will obtain numerous hundreds of thousands of noble divine palaces. In all his births, he will obtain great domain. He will have longevity. He will sustain life for a long period. He will be endowed with confidence and eloquence. His words will be worthy of remembrance. He will be famous. He will be widely talked about. He will be worthy of praise. He will bring good to the world of gods, humans, and demigods. He will obtain the magnanimous bliss of gods and humans. He will be powerful. He will possess the power of strength of a great crowd, and he will be handsome too. He will be good looking and attractive. He will be endowed with supreme complexion. In all his births, he will meet Tathagatas. He will find virtuous friends. He will hold an incalculable stock of merit. O great kings, seeing such benefits of virtue, the King of humans will go nearly 1 league to receive the expounder of Dharma. He will go 100 leagues, 1,000 leagues to receive the expounder of Dharma. He will generate a sense of seeing the expounder as the teacher. He will think to himself, today, the Tathagata, the Arhat, the fully enlightened Shakyamuni Buddha will enter my palace. Today, the Tathagata, Arhat, fully enlightened Shakyamuni Buddha will enjoy a meal in my palace. Today, I will hear the Tathagata, the Arhat, the fully enlightened Shakyamuni Buddha's Dharma, vastly unlike anything in the world. Today, by hearing the Dharma, I will advance irreversibly to the peerless perfect enlightenment. Today, I will please many hundreds of thousands of millions of Tathagatas. Today, I will make expansive, inconceivable great offerings to past, future, and present Buddhas. Today, I will utterly sever the continuum of all suffering for beings in the world of hell, animals, and yama. Today, I will plant seeds of virtue to obtain several hundreds of thousands of millions of bodies of a Brahma king. Today, I'll plant seeds of merit to obtain several hundreds of thousands of millions of bodies of chakra. I'll plant seeds of merit to obtain several hundreds of thousands of millions of rebirths as a Chakravartin king. Today, I'll be free from psychic existence for several hundreds of thousands of millions of eons. Today, I will hold a cycle of merit that is inconceivable, great, vast, and incalculable. Today, I will accord great protection to the entire circle of the Queen's retinues. Today, here in the palace, I will give inconceivable, supreme, excellent, matchless, great peace and happiness to beings. Today, I will cause the entire land to be protected, guarded, free from harm and enemies, undefeated by all foreign armies, free of infectious diseases and free of conflict, O great king. If that king of humans should respect, revere, venerate and worship bhikshus, bhikshunis, upasakas, and upasikas who uphold this king of glory sutra, sublime golden light, out of such devotion to the sublime Dharma, and should he give the best share of merit thus acquired to you, the four great kings, along with your armies and retinues, assemblies of gods, and numerous hundreds of thousands of yakshas, then that king, human king's accumulation of merit and virtue, and the inconceivable grandeur of his life and royalty will increase greatly. In that life, the king will be endowed with inconceivable majesty. He will be adorned with glory, excellent and majestic charisma. He will utterly rout all adversaries and enemies in accordance with the Dharma. When he had spoken thus, the four great kings said this to the Tathagata: suppose a certain being becomes the king of human, with such devotion to the Dharma, should he listen to this king of Sutra's sublime golden light, and likewise respect, revere, venerate, and worship bhikshus, bhikshunis, upasakas, and upasikas who uphold this king of Sutra's sublime golden light, should he thoroughly sweep and clean his palace for the sake of us, the four great kings, sprinkle it with various perfumed water, and here's Dharma, along with his four great kings, and then for his own sake and for the sake of all gods, should he give away a little share of merit roots, then Venerable Transcendent Victor, for the sake of us, the four great kings, as soon as the bhikshu who expounds the Dharma takes his Dharma seat, he will light various fragrant incenses. Venerable Transcendent Victor, as soon as preferred incenses are lit for the purpose of worshipping this King of Sutra's sublime golden light, vines having various fragrances and perfumes will issue forth. In that instant, second, and moment, in the sky above us, four great kings, there will emerge umbrellas made of vines of various incenses and perfumes. Tremendous fragrances of perfumes will be sensed. Light like that of gold will arise, and this light will illuminate our dwellings. Venerable Transcendent Victor, in that instant, second, and moment, the vines of incense and perfume will appear in the sky above dwellings of Brahma, Lord of the fearless world, Indra, the king of gods, the great goddess Saraswati, the great goddess Durga, the great goddess Sri, Samyana, the great general of the Yakshas, along with 28 generals of the Yakshas, Maheshwara, the divine son, Vajrapani, the great general of the Yakshas, Manibhadra, the great general of the Yakshas, Hariti, with her retinue of 500 sons, Anavatapta, the king of Nagas, and Sagara, the great king of Nagas. The umbrellas of various incenses and perfumes will remain afloat in their dwellings. Exorbitant fragrances of perfume will be sent. Golden lights will flood their abodes, and these lights will illuminate all their dwellings. When they said this to him, the Tathagata replied in this way to the four great kings: O great kings, it is not just that the umbrellas made of vines of various incenses and perfumes will arise in the sky above the dwellings of you four great kings alone. Why? It is also because, O great kings, as soon as that king of humans lights various incenses in order to worship the king of glory sutras, the Sublime golden light, vines of those various incenses and perfumes will appear from the single stick of incense that he holds in his hands. Then, at that instant, second, and moment, in the entire triple thousand great thousand world systems in which there exists 1,000 million moons, 1,000 million suns, 1,000 million great oceans, 1,000 million Sumerus, the king of mountains, 1,000 million Chakravadas and Mahachakravadas, the kings of mountains, 100,000 million world systems of full countenance, 1,000 million gods in the class of the four great kings, 1,000 million gods of the 33rd abode of the Zara realm, 1,000 million gods of neither awareness nor non-awareness of the formless realms, and the abodes of 1,000 million gods of 33, and all the triple thousand great thousand world systems, and in the sky above, their respective dwellings of the assemblies of gods, Nagas, Yaksas, Gandhavas, Asuras, Garudas, Kinnaras, and Mahoragas, the divines that event various incense and perfume will float. Those beings will smell fragrance of exalted perfumes. Golden lights will flood the divine dwellings and illuminate them, O great kings, in this way. Just as in the sky above the divine dwellings and the triple thousand great thousand world systems, those vines of incenses and perfumes will abide as umbrellas. As soon as I came of humans, lights various incense in order to worship the King Glorious Sutra's divine golden light. By the power of that King Glorious Sutra's divine golden light, there appear vines of various incenses and perfumes. At that instant, second, and moment, on all sides, in 10 directions, and in numerous world systems, as many as hundreds of thousands of millions of Buddha fields equaling grains of sand of the river Ganges, and in the sky above, as many hundreds of thousands of millions of Tathagatas equaling grains of sand in the river Ganges, umbrellas made of various vines of various incense and perfumes will appear. They will smell profusely as incense and perfumes for the hundreds of thousands of millions of Buddhas. There will be golden light, and that light will illuminate as many hundreds of thousands of millions of Buddha fields equaling grains of sand in the river Ganges, O great kings. As soon as these miracles have taken place, then as many hundreds of thousands of millions of Tathagatas of the grains of sand in the river Ganges will recognize that expounder of Dharma. They will congratulate him. Excellent, excellent, O sublime being. It is most marvelous that you, sublime being, wish to preach extensively the great features of the King of Glory Sutras, divine golden light, which is possessed of inconceivable qualities such as illumination of the profound. If even those beings who hear the King of Glory Sutras, divine golden light, will have no lesser roots of virtue, what need is there to say that those who take it up, hold it, recite it, understand it, and expound it extensively in the assembly will sow great roots of virtue? Why? Because, O sublime being, as soon as they hear the King Glory Sutra's divine golden light, numerous hundreds of thousands of millions of bodhisattvas will advance irreversibly to peerless perfect enlightenment. Then, hundreds of thousands of millions of Tathagatas residing in their respective Buddha fields in all 10 directions, and hundreds of thousands of millions of Buddha fields as numerous as the grains of sand in the river Ganges, with one word, one voice, and one sound proclaim to the preaching bhikshu seated on Dhamma's seat, O sublime being. In the future, you will advance to the final state of enlightenment, O sublime being, having gone to the supremely sublime essence of enlightenment and sitting at the foot of the king of trees. You will display transcendence over all the triple realms. You will display numerous hundreds of thousands of millions of austere deeds, awe-inspiring in the triple worlds, surpassing those of all beings. O sublime being, you will thoroughly glorify the essence of enlightenment. O sublime being, you will thoroughly save the triple thousand world systems. O sublime being, sitting at the foot of the king of trees, you will triumph over the inconceivable army of Maras, which display the most terrifying, repulsive forms and various hideous appearances. O sublime being, having gone to the supremely sublime essence of enlightenment, you will attain the complete state of enlightenment, which is peerless, perfect, and consummate, incomparable, utterly serene, without dust, and profound. O sublime being, seated upon the immutable Vajra seat, you will turn the wheel of Dharma, which is praised by all holders of Dharma wheels, to be 12-fold, supremely profound. O sublime being, you will beat the supreme drum of Dharma. O sublime being, you will sound the supreme conch of Dharma. O sublime being, you will hoist the great banner of the Dharma high. O sublime being, you will light the supreme torch of the Dharma. O sublime being, you will reign a supreme reign of Dharma. O sublime being, you will be victorious over numerous thousands of afflictions. O sublime being, you will free numerous hundreds of thousands of millions of sending beings from the ocean of terrifying ocean of fear. O sublime being, you will free hundreds of thousands of millions of sending beings from the wheel of psychic existence. O sublime being, you will please hundreds of thousands of millions of Buddhas. As he spoke thus, the four great kings replied to the Tathagata, Venerable Transcendent Victor, upon seeing that the King of Humans, who perceives the King of Lotus, divine golden light, has such qualities as these in present and future lives, that he would generate roots of virtue under hundreds of thousands of millions of Buddhas and thoroughly hold incalculable stocks of merit. Then, out of compassion, Venerable Transcendent Victor, we, the four great kings, along with our armies and retinues and numerous hundreds of thousands of yakshas, while in our own respective dwellings, as soon as we've been encouraged by the umbrellas made of vines of incenses and perfumes, will render our bodies invisible and go to the palace of the king, that king of human, to listen to the Dharma. The palace built by the king of humans, which is well swept and clean, sprinkled with water of various perfumes and exquisitely adorned with various ornaments. Brahma, lord of the fearless world, Indra, the king of the gods, the great goddess Saraswati, the great goddess Dirda, the great goddess Sri, the Samyana, the great general of the Yakshas, along with the 28 generals of the Yakshas, Maishvara, the divine son of Vajrapani, the great general of the Yakshas, Manibhadra, the great general of the Yakshas, Hariti, with her retinue of 500 sons, Anavat, Tapta, king of Nagas, Sagara, great king of Nagas, numerous hundreds of thousands of millions of gods and goddesses will all make their bodies invisible and approach the palace of that king of humans, which is well adorned, and where, on the flower-strewn ground, is set up for the expounder of Dharma, a high seat well decorated with various adornments. Venerable Transcendent Victor, we the four great kings, along with our army and retinue, including numerous hundreds of thousands of yakshas, will be agreeable to the king. As soon as we have been satiated with the nectar juice of Dharma, that the king of humans who assists in virtue causes beings to receive virtue and bestows the supreme generosity of peerless Dharma, we will fully protect that human king. We will save, guide, care for, and ensure peace and happiness for him. We will also protect his palace, cities, and regions. We will save, guard, look after, ensure peace and happiness, and avert retribution for beings in these places. We will ensure that region is free from all threats, harm, contagious diseases, and conflict. Venerable Transcendent Victor, suppose a certain being becomes a king of humans, and in the land of this king of humans there exists the king of glory, Sutras by and light. Venerable Transcendent Victor, if that king of humans does not respect, revere, venerate, and worship bhikshus, bhikshunis, upasakas, and upasikas who uphold the king of glory, Sutras by and light, then he will not satisfy us four kings or numerous hundreds of thousands of millions of yakshas with the hearing of the Dharma and the nectar juice of the Dharma. He will not venerate us. These divine bodies of ours will not increase in majesty. Our perseverance, might, and power will not be enhanced. Majesty, glory, and excellence will not increase in our bodies. Venerable Transcendent Victor, we four great kings, along with our armies and retinues and numerous hundreds of thousands and millions of yakshas, will neglect the land. Venerable Transcendent Victor, when we neglect the land, then all the assembly of gods and goddesses who dwell in the land will also neglect the land. Venerable Transcendent Victor, when the gods and goddesses discard the land, there will be various conflicts in the land. There will be fierce disputes among kings. All beings living in that land will become quarrelsome, accusatory, and contentious. They will be divided and ruined. The land will experience various illnesses and unfavorable planets. Comets will fall from various directions. Planets and stars will become hostile with one another. The moon rise at night will seem like the rising of the sun. There will be lunar and solar eclipses. Even the sun and moon in the sky will be attacked continually by Rahu. From time to time, halos the color of rainbows will appear in the sky. There will be earthquakes. The wells in the ground will howl with sounds. Gale force winds will blow on the land. There will be torrential rainfalls. There will be desolate famines in the land. Rival armies will crush the land. The land will be filled with swarms of bees. Beings will experience rampant afflictions. The land will become most unpleasant. Venerable Transcendent Victor, when we, the four great kings, along with our armies and retinues, numerous hundreds of thousands of yakshas, nagas, who live in the land, the gods and goddesses all ignore it, there will arise hundreds of these and similar harms and thousands of harms in that land. Venerable Transcendent Victor, suppose a certain being becomes a king of humans. If he seeks to provide great protection for himself, to experience various regal joys, to exercise his sovereignty with an intention to give all happiness and well-being to every being living in the land, to defeat the entire rival army, to reign over all the land for a great length of time, to be a Dharma king, and to free his land from all fear, harm, contagious disease, and conflict, that king of humans, Venerable Transcendent Victor, will undoubtedly hear the King of Glory Sutras, Sublime Golden Light. He will respect, revere, venerate, and worship bhikshus, bhikshunis, upasakas, and upasikas who uphold the King of Glory Sutras. We, the four great kings, along with our armies and retinue, will be satisfied by roots of virtue gathered from listening to the Dharma, and by the nectar juice of the Dharma. These divine bodies of ours will increase in majesty. Why? Because Venerable Transcendent Victor, that King of Humans, will undoubtedly listen to the King of Glory Sutras, the Sublime Golden Light. Venerable Transcendent Victor, the King of Glory Sutras, the Sublime Golden Light, supremely surpasses the many various mundane and supermundane treatises expounded by Brahma lords, the many various mundane and supermundane treatises expounded by Shakra, the King of Gods, and the many various mundane and supermundane treatises expounded for the sake of sentient beings by seers possessed of the 5 extrasensory perceptions. It is perfectly and widely expounded for the sake of sentient beings by the Tathagata, who is more supreme and more exalted than hundreds of thousands of Lord Brahmas, numerous hundreds of thousands of millions of chakras, and numerous hundreds of thousands of millions of seers possessed of the 5 extrasensory perceptions. The King of Glory Sutras, Sublime Golden Light, is expounded so that the King of Humans and Jambudvipa may be supreme reigning kings. All beings may be happy, fully protect their lands and reign their lands, that their lands may be without harm and enemies, and that they may defeat the armies of adversaries and turn them away, that there may be no infectious illness and conflict in those lands, that through the Dharma those lands may be without conflict and not be overrun, that these King of Humans may light the great torch of Dharma and illuminate their lands, that all the divine dwellings may be filled with gods and divine children, that we, the 4 great kings, along with our armies and retinues, and numerous hundreds of thousands of yakshas, and all the gatherings of gods dwelling in Jambudvipa may be satisfied, that all may be auspicious, that these divine bodies of ours may increase in majesty, that perseverance, power, and strength may be instilled in our bodies, that majesty, glory, and excellence may flow into our bodies, that Jambudvipa may have good crops and be filled with people, and that all beings dwelling in Jambudvipa may be happy and experience various pleasures, that all sentient beings may have various joys and experience magnanimous joys of gods and humans for numerous hundreds of thousands of millions of eons, find the company of Lord Buddhas, and in some future time be fully enlightened in the peerless state of perfect enlightenment. The Venerable Transcendent Victor, the Tathagata, the Arhat, the fully enlightened Buddha possesses blessing, infused by the power of great compassion, exceedingly superior to that of hundreds of thousands of millions of Brahma lords, unsurpassable Tathagata knowledge exceedingly superior to the knowledge of hundreds of thousands of millions of chakras, and blessings exceedingly superior to that of numerous hundreds of thousands of millions of various seers, possessed of the 5 extrasensory perceptions. The Venerable Transcendent Victor, the Tathagata, the Arhat, the fully enlightened Buddha, has widely and perfectly expounded here in Jambudvipa the King of Glory Sutras, the Sublime Golden Light, for the sake of sentient beings. Whatever royal views, royal treatises, and royal duties there are in the whole of Jambudvipa, which ensure happiness for sentient beings, all have been revealed, stated, and expounded by the Venerable Transcendent Victor, the Tathagata, the Arhat, the fully enlightened Buddha, in the King of Glory Sutras, the Sublime Golden Light. Venerable Transcendent Victor, for this reason and for this cause, the King of Humans will undoubtedly listen to, venerate, and worship the King of Glory Sutras, the Sublime Golden Light. As I said this to him, the Venerable Transcendent Victor said thus to them, therefore, O you 4 great kings, with your armies and retinues, do take unhesitating great delight in protecting the King of Humans, who listens to, respect, and worship the King of Glory Sutras, Sublime Golden Light. O great king, do let bhikshus, bhikshunis, upasakas, and upasikas who hold the King of Glory Sutras, the Sublime Golden Light, uphold Buddha deeds. They will perform Buddha deeds in the world of gods, humans, and asuras. They will expound the King of Glory Sutras, Sublime Golden Light, well and extensively. You 4 great kings, by all means, will protect, safeguard, guide, look after, and ensure the peace and happiness of bhikshus, bhikshunis, upasakas, and upasikas who hold the King of Glory Sutras, so they may be secure, without harm, ailments, or conflicts. and endow with a peace of mind, enabling them to expound the King of Glory Sutras, the Sublime Golden Light, well and extensively. Then indeed, the great King Parashvana, the great King Dhritarashtra, the great King Vridaka, and the great King Virupaksha rose from their seats, placed over, rose over one shoulder, knelt their right knees on the ground, and bowed in reverence with their folded hands, pointed in the direction of the Tathagata. At that time, they praised the Tathagata in these befitting verses. O Conqueror, your form is the flawless full moon. O Conqueror, your thousand ray light is the sun. O Conqueror, your eyes are the stainless lotus petal. O Conqueror, your teeth are the flawless lotus stem. O Conqueror, your virtues like the ocean are the source of myriad jewels. O Conqueror, your ocean is filled with wisdom water and with 100,000 concentrations. O Conqueror, the soles of your feet are inscribed with wheels, perfectly round and with 1,000 spokes. Your hands and feet are netted by webs of light. The webs of your feet resemble those of the King of Geese. O Conqueror, you're like a golden mountain, O Conqueror, the flawless King of the golden mountain. Your virtues are like Mount Sumeru. We worship you, O Conqueror, the Lord of the mountain. The Tathagata is like the fully waxed moon, and likewise resembles and takes after space. We prostrate to the flawless Conqueror. Then the Tathagata spoke these verses to the four great kings. O you, four guardians of the world, safeguard with utmost effort the King of Glory Sutras, the lamp golden light of 10 powers. In this way, this profound, precious sutra that bestows goodness upon all creatures will abide long in this Jambudvipa to bring solace and benefit to beings. In this way, the suffering of the lower realms, all the suffering of hell beings in the hell realms of the triple thousand great thousand worlds will be utterly pacified here in this Jambudvipa. All the kings in the land will feel intense great joy and will rule according to Dharma. One who makes Jambudvipa tranquil, extremely bountiful and full of joy, will make beings in the whole of Jambudvipa full of peace. Here, the Lords of Humans who delights in bringing happiness to themselves and their lands, and who find joy in making their kingdoms prosperous, shall listen to this King of Glory Sutras. This King of Glory Sutras fully destroys external enemies, turns back legions of foreign armies, removes the fear of the terrified and poor, and causes supreme virtue, just as the jeweled tree, intensely beautiful and the source of all virtue, stands as centerpiece in the house. So should this Supreme King of Sutras be viewed by those who desire the virtue of kings. Just as cool water quenches the thirst of one who is tortured by heat, so does this Supreme King of Sutras satisfy kings oppressed by thirst for virtue, like having a jewel box, source of all jewels, setting upon one's hand. This Supreme King of Sutras, Sublime Golden Light, acts thus for the Lords of Humans, venerated by the assembly of gods, and worshipped by the kings of gods. This King of Sutras is carefully guarded by four protectors possessed of potent magic power. The Buddhas in the 10 directions continually remember this King of Sutras. When the King of Sutras is expounded, the Buddhas bestow rejoicing, well said remarks. Further, 100,000 million yakshas will protect the lands in 10 directions where this King of Sutras is heard, with keen interest and great joy. The inconceivable hosts of gods who dwell in Jambudvipa will listen to this King of Sutras with great joy. The gods will obtain charisma, power, and enthusiasm. Their enchanting divine forms will wax and wax greatly. Upon hearing such verses as these from the Tathagata, the four great kings were amazed, enthralled, and delighted. Moved by the power of the Dharma, they were overcome by emotion and became tearful. Then, wiping away their tears, endowed with inconceivable joy, happiness, and gladness, their bodies upright, their limbs quivering, they strew the Tathagata profusely with divine mandarava flowers. Having strewn the Tathagata with flowers, they rose from their seats, put their robes over one shoulder, knelt their right knees on the ground, and bowed to the Tathagata. Folding their hands in reverence, they observed thus to him: O Venerable Transcendent Victor, in order to protect and care for the Bhikshu who expounds the Dharma, we, the four great kings, each with 500 yakshas, will always follow after him. This concludes the 7th chapter, the chapter on the four great kings, from the King of Glory Sutras, the Sublime Golden Light. Okay. Chapter 8, the chapter on Saraswati. Then the great goddess Saraswati put her robe over one shoulder, knelt on her right knee, and bowing in great reverence with her hands folded to the Legata, spoke thus: O venerable transcendent victor, I, the goddess Saraswati, will also bestow eloquence in order to adorn the speech of the bhikshu who expounds the Dharma. I will grant him dharani. I will always invest in him the power of authoritative speech. To the bhikshu who expounds the Dharma, I will give great illumination of knowledge. If he loses or forgets a word or letter from the King of Glory Sutras, the Golden Light, I will supply the bhikshu who expounds the Dharma with all the definite sounds, letters, and words. I will grant him dharani to prevent it from being lost, so that the King of Glory Sutras, the Golden Light, may last long without disappearing from Jambudvipa, for the sake of sending beings who plant roots of virtue before hundreds of thousands of Buddhas, the transcendent lords, so that these numerous sending beings may develop inconceivably sharp wisdom upon hearing the King of Glory Sutras, the Golden Light, may receive an inconceivable wealth of wisdom, possess excellent energy in their present life, and enjoy an increase in life force, come to hold inconceivable masses of merit, seek various creative methods, be learned in all treatises, and hold excellent expertise in various arts and crafts. I'll explain the art of bathing, blessed with mantra and aromatic medicine for the welfare of the bhikshu who expounds the Dharma, and for beings who listen to the Dharma. This will pacify all affliction caused by planets, shooting stars, birth and death. This will bring an end to conflicts, quarrels, wars, disorders, nightmares, afflictions from Vinayaka, and all sorcerers and zombies. Aromatic medicines and mantras with which the wise bathe are Vacha, Gurachana, Sprika, Shirisa, Samyaka, Sami, Indrabasta, Mahabhaga, Jamaka, Agaru, Tvach, Shrivestaka, resin of Sarja, Shakali, Gulu, Tagara, Patra, Shailea, Chandana, Mandashila, Sarochana, Kusta, Kukuma, Musta, Sarashata, Nalada, Chavya, Smaila, Ushira, and Nagakesara. Watching for Pusha, the star, to arrive, make these into equal portions, then consecrate the powder with this mantra 100 times. Tayata, Sukrite, Krita, Kamalali, Jana, Karate, Ham Karate, Indrajali, Shakradre, Pashadre, Abarta Chishe, Nakutraku, Kapila, Kapilamati, Shilamti, Sandi, Du, Mama Bati, Shriri, Satya, Shite, Soha. Draw a magic circle with cowardung and scatter loose flowers there. In a gold vessel and a silver vessel, place the honey. Place there 4 men wearing armor standing at guard. Place there 4 maids fully adorned and bearing vases, always incense with bdellium, and play the 5 simple music. Thoroughly adorn the goddesses with umbrellas, victory banners, and flags. At intervals, place mirrors, arrows, and spears. Then draw a boundary line and embark on what is to be done. Reciting the following mantra, start the boundary delineation. Saya dya te dana arake nayane hile mile gile ki kile swa. Bathing behind an image of the Tathagata, recite this mantra to ensure peace during the bathing time. Tayata sa gate bigate bigatabati swaha. Protect life, O you moving stars, dwelling in all 4 directions. May the afflictions from stars of birth, fear due to actions done, and the terrible fear from disturbance of the elements be removed. Tayata Shame Bishame Swaha, Sagate Bigate Swaha, Sikhantin Nate Swaha, Sagara Sambutaya Swaha, Skanda Matraya Swaha, Nila Kantaya Swaha, Aparajita Bia Swaha, Hima Bhatasha Bhutaya Swaha, Animila Bhaktraya Swaha, Namo Bhagate Brahmane Nama Sarasvatriye Deviye Siddhamya Tu Mantra Pada Dambrahma Anumanayatu Swaha. For the sake of the bhikshu who expounds the Dharma, those who listen, and those who write it down, I myself will go to that bathing site. Together with all the hosts of gods, I will completely eliminate all diseases from temples, villages, cities, and towns. I will completely pacify the afflictions caused by planets, strife, quarrel, stars, birth, nightmares, afflictions, vinayaka, detractors, and all sorcerers and zombies, so that the life force of bhikshus, bhikshunis, upasakas, and upasikas who hold this king of sutras is assisted, that they receive release from samsara, advance irreversibly to the perfect and peerless state of complete enlightenment, and be swiftly enlightened in the perfect and peerless state of the Buddhas. Then the Tathagata praise the goddess Saraswati in this way. Excellent, excellent, great goddess Saraswati, you have come to the world to create great benefit for many beings and to bestow well-being upon them. The words you spoke, charged with spells and medicaments, were well spoken indeed. Then the goddess Saraswati bowed at the feet of Tathagata and sat on one side. Then, attracting the attention of the great goddess Saraswati, the Brahmin teacher and expounder Kaudinya said, a great ascetic, great goddess Saraswati is worthy of worship. A great mind of virtue, you bestow supreme boons in all worlds. Supremely beautiful, you stand on one foot and are clothed in a garment made of grass. All the gods gathered here ask you thus, let loose your tongue, speak fine words of virtue to beings. Sayada te dana mure, tire abaje abajabati, hingule pingalabati, mangushe marichi, samati, dashamati, agrim giri, tara chitara, chichiri, shiri, miri, marichi pranaye, lokajarete, loka shrerete, loka priye siddhiprite, bimalalamukhi, shuchi kari apratihate, apratehata buddhe namuchi mahadevi pratigrina namaskaram. May my intellect be unimpeded. May versified treatises and tantras, tripitakas, and poetic works become the boon of my magical knowledge incantations. Tayata Mahaprabhave Hili Mili. To the magical power of the great goddess Saraswati, may I be victorious. Karate, Keure, Keurabati, Hili. By the power of truth of the Buddhas, by the power of the truth of the Dharma, by the power of truth of the Sangha, by the power of truth of Indra, by the power of truth of Varuna, by the power of truth of those who speak the words of truth in the world, and the power of truth itself, I will invoke the great goddess Saraswati, Tayata Hili Mili. May I be totally victorious. Homage to Bhagavati, the great goddess Saraswati. May you lay the foundation and grant me success in my words of secret mantra. Then the Brahmin teacher and expounder Kaudinya sang the praise of the great goddess Saraswati. O you hordes of Bhuttas, listen to me. I will sing the praise of virtue of the sublime goddess with a supremely immaculate face. She is the chief of goddesses, the finest among sublime women in the world of gods, Gandhavas, and Asura lords. She is adorned with limbs, embellished with numerous virtues, called Saraswati. She blazes with merit. Her eyes are broad. She is fully endowed with pristine wisdom and virtue, and it resembles an array of precious jewels. I praise the virtue of her supreme eloquence. She gives the supreme boon of sublime, perfect mantras and qualities, immaculately pristine. She is like the blazing lotus. Her eyes are holy and incomparable source of virtue. She sheds light to see virtue. She is adorned with inconceivable qualities. Her light is bright like the moon, a mind of exalted wisdom and cool mindfulness. She is the finest lioness and vehicle for humans. She is adorned with 8 arms and appears like the fully waxed moon. Possessed of profound wisdom, she has a beautiful song and a beautiful voice and enchanting song. An excellent being, she helps accomplish the highest goals. Honored by the lords of gods and asuras, she is celebrated among divine deva abodes, and in the realm of Bhutas, she is continually worshipped. Svaha. I bow down to this goddess. May she grant me an exalted heap of virtue. May she grant success in every venture, and in the midst of my enemies always protect me. If one arises in the morning and clearly speaks these words in full, every syllable complete, all wishes will be granted. One will find wealth and grain, and obtain immense virtue and every success. This ends the 8th chapter, the chapter on Saraswati, from the King of Glory Sutras, the Sublime Golden Light. Okay, so now we'll do the mantra afterwards. I have too many windows open. Okay, 1 second. So this mantra to multiply the recitation by 100,000 times. Om Gadara Vidara Soha Rana Shakona Tatagataya Apratihata Shasanam Om Kaka Kai Kai Hun Hun Zala Zala Tigada Tigada Pepe Soha. And then now we will end the session here. So thank you. I know it's a hard work, but thank you. Remember, the more hardship, and especially since this is one of Lama Zopa Rinpoche's very dear kind of goals and advice that he has for all of his students, then the more hardship we undertake in fulfilling the wishes of our Guru, then the more merit, the more purification, and thus the quicker our path to enlightenment. So sometimes, you know, I always remember all the hardship that Jetsun Milarepa undertook, serving his guru Marpa, you know, building the tower several times and you know, tearing it back down again. And then, you know, whatever kind of recitation we do of sutras, it's nothing compared to that. So please take a great joy. Let's just rejoice, first of all, that we're able to do this, all come together as a global community, trying to, you know, do something to benefit all sentient beings, meditating on bodhicitta, and reciting this profound sutra. It's really amazing. And so now, with all of this virtue that we've created, then we have to dedicate it in the best way. Oops. Oh, yo. Okay. I'm trying to go to the read mode. Hold on. Okay, let's just do it like this. Okay. Due to all the past, present, future merits collected by me, and all the merits of 3 times collected by numberless Buddhas and numberless sentient beings, may bodhicitta be generated in the hearts of all the sentient beings of the 6 realms, and especially in the hearts of everybody in this world, including all the students, benefactors, and volunteers in the FPMT organization. May it be generated in the hearts of all those who rely upon me, all those for whom I have promised to pray, and all those whose names have been given to me. May it be generated in my hearts, and in the hearts of all my family members, those who are living and those who have died. May the bodhicitta that has already been generated increase. Next, for long life of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Incomparably kind and supreme Tenzin Gyatso, the wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, may you have a long life and all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. Then for long life of Lama Zopa Rinpoche, you who uphold the subduer's moral way, who serve as the bountiful bearer of all, sustaining, preserving, and spreading Manjunatha's victorious doctrine, who masterfully accomplish magnificent prayers honoring the three sublime ones, Savior of myself and others, your disciples, please, please live long. Next, to seal our dedication with the understanding of how phenomena exist, means emptiness of true existence. Due to all the past, present, future merits collected by me, the numberless Buddhas and numberless innate beings, which are completely empty of existing from their own side, may I, who am completely empty of existing from my own side, achieve the state of full enlightenment, which is completely empty of existing from its own side, and lead all the sentient beings who are completely empty of existing from their own side to that state, which is completely empty of existing from its own side, by myself alone, who am completely empty of existing from my own side. Then these next two verses from the King of Prayers. I fully dedicate all these virtues to be able to train just like the hero Manjushri who knows reality, and just like Samantabhadra as well. I fully dedicate all my roots of virtue with the dedication praises the best by all the gone beyond victorious ones of the three times in order to have good conduct. Then for the teachings of Lama Tsongkhapa to flourish in the 10 directions. 4. The Dharma King Tsongkhapa's way of Dharma to flourish. May all signs of obstacles be pacified and all conducive conditions be complete. Due to the 2 types of merit of the 3 times of myself and others, may the teachings of the victorious one Losar Drakpa shine resplendent forever. Okay, so let's also just dedicate here now, also due to the 3-time merit accumulated by ourselves, as well as all 3-time merit accumulated by the numberless innate beings and numberless Buddhas, for all the beings who have recently died, whether due to the current war in the Ukraine, due to illness, whatever caused their death, and all these beings in the barrow instantly be reborn in the Pure Land where they can achieve enlightenment, or may they again attain a perfect human rebirth, meet with a Mahayana virtuous friend and the Mahayana Dharma, attain all the realizations in their very next life, and thereby attain enlightenment in their very next life. And then we can also dedicate for all the other problems we see in the world. Of course, the problems of war, illness, natural disasters, famine, all the various economic problems, the refugee crisis, all these various problems that are facing the world, may they instantly vanish, disappear right this second. And may these types of problems and the other types of problems that sentient beings face, may they never occur again in this world or any of the world systems of the 10 directions from now until the end of samsara. Okay, and yeah. So yeah, thank you all of you for coming. I had an idea also, right? So we're reciting the long life prayers of our gurus for our gurus. And so the best offering we can make to our guru is offering of practice. So I had this idea that, we can report the recitation of the Golden Light Sutra. I think it'd be very good if we could also maybe, Kunpen, if you could take care of this, then all of you who are now on attending these sessions, you can write in and also say what country you're from. So I'm very happy to see. I know there's at least someone from the Ukraine who is on this call. So thank you very much. And I know someone from Russia is also on this call. Her one set of her ancestors was from the Ukraine. So that, of course, is very good to see. We as a global community from various countries in the world coming together to do virtue that creates a very good cause for there to be peace in the world in and of itself. So if Kunpen, you could take the lead, please write into the SPC Kunpen, Venerable Kunpen, and say what country you're from. And then at the end, we can present this recitation to Lama Zopa Rinpoche. I'm sure he'll be extremely pleased. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Venerable Namjong La. That's exactly what I wanted to suggest, because there's always Golden Light Sutra recitations going on all around the world, and there is a count going on. You might have seen it on the websites we shared with you, the links we shared yesterday, or you can see them still on our website on the page. Yeah, and so we're always counting the Golden Light Sutra recitations, and it's very inspiring, how many people all over the world are reciting, so we can feel like a global family community. Yes, so a very good idea. If you wanted to write, please write to the normal account register at tushita.info. Yeah, the one where we send you the mails from and things like that. Or tomorrow we could just put in a chat. We could do it now where we're here, and you could just say where you're from, and we take a picture, or the chat will be recorded anyway. Yeah, Pamela?
Yes, Kumbinda, the chat will be recorded, but I dropped the register account email here. Can you all see?
It might be easier if you just write into the chat right now where you're from. Isn't that, that saves, saves you an email?
Yes. Chat is open to everybody, so you can write. Yeah.
So if you feel inspired, you don't have to, but if you feel inspired, you could just write your countries and yeah.
So while you're all doing that, I had this thought, and we read that chapter on the Four Great Kings, where it talks about all the extensive benefit of the king of the land inviting a bhikshu to come to the land, and then how many leagues he'll go to greet the bhikshu and the benefit that will ensue. So I had this thought: wouldn't it be great if Putin invited His Holiness the Dalai Lama to give a teaching on the Golden Light Sutra, and he went all the way to Vladivostok. Yeah, Vladivostok. Am I pronouncing that right? Way on the Pacific Ocean. It's I think 8,000 plus kilometers from Moscow, and he goes with His Holiness back. They can go on the Trans-Siberian Express, and His Holiness can teach him all about bodhicitta. So anyway, I had that thought. So anyway. So thank you all as you're continuing to type. Really, I'm so inspired by all of you. It's really amazing. So really, thank you. I also, when I'm reading those benefits of the bhikshu who expounds this Dharma teaching, I'm also like, oh wow, thank you for showing up, because maybe I get some fraction of that. So thank you.
Thank you so much, everybody. And we will continue tomorrow. Yeah, same time, same place. So noon Indian time. And today there will be a letter going out to you on a different topic. We are hosting Jitsuma Tenzin Palmo on Friday. I think most of you are aware. And it's a question and answer. So if you wanted to ask a question to Jitsuma Tenzin Palmo, please send your question today. The emphasis is on today, please, because we would like to pass it on to Jitsuma, and she needs at least half a day to go through them. Yeah. So if you have a question for Jitsuma, please write to register@tushita.info, our usual address, and we will, try to ask the question on Friday. Also on that Friday, we will screen on our Facebook Cave in the Snow, the very inspiring movie, the documentary about Jitsuma's life. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Venerable Namjong La. And wherever you are, Venerable Namjong La, have a good night. In India, have a good afternoon. Europe, have a good day. And wherever you are, yes, enjoy. And we see you tomorrow at 12 o'clock noon again.
Okay, bye-bye. Namaste. Tashile.